Were you not prepared for Death Grips?
I was not prepared for Death Grips. But first, let's talk about your boy Pusha T and his new album,
Daytona.
Yeah, Daytona. A little bit of controversy with the album cover, which I still kind of don't know how to feel about.
A little bit of completely unnecessary, pointless bullshit. Just doing it for publicity's sake. I saw that this was a Kanye move too.
Now,
I don't know what album cover they had beforehand, but all of a sudden Kanye decided to drop like $80,000 or some bullshit for the rights to the photo.
$85,000.
Why? What? Why? I'm sorry, but I just don't get why.
And my friend who's a visual artist, he kind of pointed this out too. He's like, so wait a minute, there were actually people working on the cover, and you just went like, fuck it, and just changed it. It's just like, dude, that's someone's, work. You know what I'm saying? Like, in sort of, and to do it for this thing that is so obviously a gimmick,
Yeah.
And
you got a 21-minute. They're calling it an album. This is a fucking EP. Like, if it's under a half hour, it's an EP. But whatever. That I'm just gonna go ahead and say no one would be talking about it if it wasn't for the Drake diss. So there's that. Yeah. And you got this album cover that. What I'm trying to wrap my head around is Pusha T's whole gimmick is he sells dope. All right. He sells fucking coke. All right. So let's show a room of someone who died using that.
Yeah.
Why? Like, is that just for shock value? Because I never really got... Because we reviewed Pusha T before. And we've reviewed Kanye before. I never got the fact that either of them were like, I'm gonna super shock you. I mean, besides the whole MAGA hat thing. But that's... I don't even consider that a shock thing. That's in a whole nother category.
Yeah, but to your point, it's like... And also on top of that, because here's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, maybe this... Because here's the thing. If you know anything about Pusha T or the clips or any of that, they are about drug raps. It's coke this, Murcielago that. You know what I'm saying? This is luxury drug rap. Like, and so going into it, okay, I already expect I'm not gonna get anything deep. But when I saw this, I was like, okay, so you are specifically showing the room of someone who basically died because of your type of product. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, oh, maybe this is gonna be something different. Maybe he's gonna flip. Maybe it's gonna be something like, oh man, it's the coke raps, but let's really look at, like, he was gonna fucking Breaking Bad this shit. Show a couple of like, this is the worst side of it. Yeah, I have all the success, but look at all the horrible shit that comes with it.
Like fucking Danny Brown.
Yeah. No, he doesn't do that in any capacity. It's all about drug. What was the fucking the Boondocks quote? He's like, the drug game is cool, but sometimes it's not cool. But mostly it's cool.
So, I'm looking on its Wikipedia page, right? AV Club A-, Clash 4.5, Exclaim 4, Guardian 4, Hip Hop DX 4.5, Pitchfork 8.3. Am I the only person in the world who thought this album was fucking garbage?
You are not. Thank fucking God. Oh.
This is such a 2 at the most.
Dude.
The fuck was this? Minimal? Okay, when you're calling something a masterpiece of minimalism, that is a nice way of saying it is boring as fuck.
And barely has production.
Look, you got Kanye doing your production. He fucking phoned it in 100% of the time. On the beats, on his verse.
Dude, this sounded like... You know how Wu-Tang Clan sound right now is kind of like... It just sounds like they're recycling their shit from the 90s. Like, so it's just like, hey, it's like a Wu-Tang album from the 90s, but... there's a little dust on it now, and it's not really as cool as it used to be, but they're doing the exact same thing. This feels like that. It's like, hey, didn't you like the soul sample? Look, I'm doing the soul sample, but it's not really as fresh as it used to be. That's exactly what this feels like, right? There's one point where, like, some synth needed to be turned the fuck down, and it didn't sound like it was in a cool way, like, sort of like, oh, yeah, it's blasting you with this. It just felt like, yo, could someone please, like that sounded like a legit mistake. hard piano.
It could be possible. This album felt fucking rushed.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, no way would you release something 21 minutes unless that's all you fucking had.
Yeah, like I just don't understand how like you own a record label. What do you need to put out an EP for? Take your time and make an album. Like, what the fuck? You know, and also on top of that, sorry, but like also on top of that, there's not a lot of variation of the song topic, so it's not like, oh man, this is all I needed to say. It's like, no, he's circling the what do you call it? He's circling the drain on topics like by track 3. So, you know, it's not like, oh man, this is all I need to say. 7 tracks, boom, put it out. It's just like, no, he's saying the same, he's running around in circles by track 3 and 4. The only time there's a different topic is Santeria and Infrared. Yeah, that's basically it. Everything else is, hey, did you know that Pusha T sells cocaine?
and you know, I'm gonna say, because he even references, you know, this is the shit from Yonkers or whatever. It's like, yeah, you're right. Fucking Ghostface can release albums about selling drugs and all that, and it's great. But then again, that was like his old shit, right? Like,
and also, he actually had stories. It's not just, I'm selling crack. It's like, oh, we're trying to sell this crack, but then, you know, it turned out to just be a white block of cheese from New Zealand or some weird shit that ended one of the songs where it's just like, you know, it doesn't go the way you expect. Things happen. Every one of these songs is just, yep, I'm still pretty rich off of this drug shit. And the thing is, whereas I feel like he was able to make that work before, I really feel like the cracks are starting to show, man.
Only 3 years ago, we reviewed a half-hour Pusha T album, King Push, Darkest Before Dawn, and I remember liking it.
Yeah.
I remember liking that shit. What the hell is this? You got songs like, which one was it? Comeback Baby, which just sounds like a straight-up freestyle.
Oh my god, what the fuck was that? Okay, so Comeback Baby. Alright, so all of these other songs are all about cocaine, right? You're 3 tracks in, and you're thinking like, oh, is that just what this album's gonna be? Okay, well, fuck it. You know, let's ride with it. Let's see where it takes us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can enjoy that. You know, it's not the topic in and of itself that's bad. It's how you present it, right?
Right.
Then you get to Comeback Baby, and you're like, oh, it's gonna be a little different. It's gonna be like his love song. Okay, let's see what happens. And then it starts with a sample of someone named the Mighty Hannibal. He says, I want to talk to all you addicts out there that's got yourself a great big Jones and you done tried all the methadone and you just can't leave that heroin alone. I wonder, have you tried? And then it cuts it off and it just goes back to coke raps again. And I'm just like, but wait, you literally just introduced this idea of, hey, coke addicts, are you tired of doing coke? Are you tired of doing the drugs? Well, let me present you a salute. And then, no. And it's just like, was that on purpose? Was that the joke? 'Cause
it keeps cutting back to the samples, which start and stop randomly. They're totally unneeded. They're pointless. Comeback Baby would be the worst track on the album if it wasn't for the first one.
Wait,
can I just read you an excerpt?
Oh, that was the worst lyrics. Those are the worst lyrics of the fuck out. Please go ahead.
Pulling up in that new toy, the wrist on that boy, rockstar like Pink Floyd. Waving at rude boy, I'm waving at you, boy. Ran off in that plug too, like, was it a True Goy?
True Goy. That was actually kind of good because that's plug 2 from De La Soul.
Oh, okay. Imagine me do, boy. You could never do what I do, boy. Oh my god. Fuck off, dude. No, what the hell is this?
No. You didn't finish it. That wasn't the end of the rhyme.
No. There is way more. It gets
he
worse.
Says, imagine me do, boy. You could never do what I do, boy. Still ducking shit that I did, boy.
He loses his own shitty rhyme verse.
Homie, did you just rhyme do with did? What the fuck is this?
I've went on the record and say I don't really care if someone doesn't rhyme, but when your whole thing was rhyming on this one specific thing, and then you just blatantly just disregard did. Like, no.
You know what it is? I think that's it. I really think that's it. Track 1 starts us off so badly because, like I said, this is a pure aesthetic thing. So, like, I know I'm not going to get substance from this, right? So I'm purely going to get enjoyment. And what I want to get, what I look to Pusha T for, is the sort of lyricism that is just like, it's in such grave and intricate detail that you have no choice to just be like, yo, I'm fucking with this, you know? Like the beats work in conjunction with the lyricism to paint the dark picture so well. You know, it's like I said, it's literally, it's like a painting to me, honestly. It's like, you know, a painting doesn't necessarily need to tell me, you know, need to have a message or tell me to be a better person. No. You know, and maybe it does, but like there's some things that there's some paintings that like I don't know what the message of it is, but it's purely aesthetically enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? But that requires a certain level of lyricism. So when you're starting off your album with shit like this, I'm already like, oh, okay. You know? Because it's like, there's a million people making drug raps, dude. You need to stand out. And that's what I liked about you. You stood out. Now, it's not that he's completely whack on this album, but it's just like, there's so many moments that are just like that where I feel like that wasn't present before.
I used to have the perception that Kanye was like this great producer who kind of fumbled when it came to like his turn, you know, on the other side of the glass, right? What the fuck is the games we play? You need to sample that one beat that just loops the first 3 seconds over and over again, and it's like something you'd make in fucking Fruity Loops GarageBand garbage.
Yeah, that fucking taking that one little soul sample.
Oof. Like, the lyrics are only a bit better, but that beat, oh my god, it's like non-existent. And I saw that person say it was a minimalist masterpiece. Like, no the fuck it's not. Like, you can't just call a simple beat minimal and just like, that's it.
Yeah, usually
like,
minimalist beats are it's not that there's no production happening, it's just that the little changes and things like that are really small. That's what makes it minimal, you know?
Yeah.
I can do that. I've done it before. I've taken like a little, because you know when you're first starting off producing, you take like, oh hey, look, I can take a sample and just chop it and repeat it. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah, not a dude in his 40s who's been at this shit for a while. Like, it sounds so first year.
Yeah. So there was one lyric that at first I was sort of confused about, but then when I thought about it, I was like, okay, well maybe he's actually not saying that. He says, never trust a bitch who finds love in a camera. She will fuck you and then turn around and fuck a janitor. Set the parameters. You either with the pro ballers or the amateurs. Now that's kind of dope. All right, whatever. And he says, I won't let you ruin my dreams or Harvey Weinstein the kid. Good morning, Matt Lauer. Can I live? Now, when I first heard this lyric, I was like, wait. Is he saying, you're not going to accuse me of sexual molestation? I was like, well, if you don't sexually molest someone, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, there's that side to it, and there's the other side to it that just sounds like he doesn't think Harvey Weinstein and Matt Lauer are guilty of anything.
Well, now, someone interpreted it in a way that maybe makes sense. They said like, maybe he's saying like Harvey Weinstein was an abuser and someone who like, you know, used, basically like made it so that certain starlets could not get to a certain path without, you know, going to him. So basically what they're trying to say is you can't, you know, do that to me. And that kind of works, I guess, until he says
why would you bring up them though?
Why would you bring it up in a way that doesn't make it clear that you are not supposed to be the person who is supposed to be embodying Harvey Weinstein?
And then you got Rick Ross, who just kind of phones in his verse.
Okay, is it just me, or is like the first couple of lines, it just feels like he's a little off?
Yeah.
Like the way the flow goes is it just doesn't feel like it just felt like, okay, you need to do that take again. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then okay, so he says, yeah, he goes, I can blow $1 million into dust. Lord knows how many bottles I done. Like, it was just like, what? Why wouldn't you just continue the flow like that? Why did you cut it off like that and then sound like you had to catch up with the beat, you know? And then he has the line where he says, my homie amputated, but he's gonna stand for something. I'm dying to find a way to get a Grammy from it. I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, Are you saying, like, oh man, I can't wait to make money off of talking about how bad his life is? Like, what the fuck? Like, look, I understand the point of art is, talk about, what you've lived, and that includes, like, friends and family, but I don't know, specifically saying it that way just feels like he just heard about his friend, having to have his legs amputated. It's like, oh man, he's rubbing his hands together. This is gonna make for a great song. Like, it's like, Jesus. Then you get Santeria, which was honestly the best fucking song on the album. At first, I thought it was just like, just the same old, specifically focusing on the gunplay aspect of it and not as much of the coke shit. But then as I was like really paying attention, when he mentioned like Dave Vaughn, his friend, I was like, oh, this is specifically about, getting revenge for his death. And I was like, that's actually really cool. That makes this song stand out now, and I want to listen to it. I'll most likely listen to this song again out of all the other ones. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it has an interesting story going on. This is the sort of Ghostface shit that I'm talking about. Oh my god, when he said earlier, he's like, this is going to be the new Purple Tape. Oh, no.
Oh god.
You're wrong.
you are wrong,
know
sir.
that. You don't believe that.
Look, I'm just looking, and I mean, it doesn't mean that, a lot of hands in the pot, make the stew, but just throwing this out there, right? Like, I'm looking at the personnel on Darkest Before the Dawn. Producers: Pusha T, Puff Daddy, Bauer, Kanye West. It's huge. Metro Boomin, Timbaland, The Dream. It goes on and on and on. All these people. You look at it, it's like there's like 4 producers on a few tracks. There's all these writers, all these people working on these songs, and it was a quality album. Then you go to Daytona, it's like West on every track, maybe one other person. Like, you could tell, like, I just don't think that there was a lot of time put into this.
And there's a lack of creative minds involved that for a product like this, you would need to have involved to make it interesting. Because like I said, most of it's just coke raps. So you need something to make it, pop more,
Yeah, when you're fucking, again, when you're this deep in the game and you're still making Scarface references.
Right, you'd think you'd be done with him by now.
Oh my god. Oh, you don't need a globe in your house to prove that the world... Oh, fuck off with that. Really? He calls himself, fucking, shit, what does he say? I'm the...
Oh, the Goya Montana or something like that?
Yeah, it's like, oh, right, man. And then later with his fucking... Dude, he had that fucking Drake line coming when he was like, the only person that sold more coke than me, it was Eazy-E. He had that fucking, you're rapping like you're Pablo Escobar shit. Like,
right.
Give that fucking shit up, dude. What year do you think this is?
Because, like, that wasn't, that didn't impress me. Like, what?
No. The best song that I heard Pusha T on was Move That Dope. It's catchy. It wasn't even his. It was a Future song. That song told you a really interesting, like, it gave you these different personalities, because you got Future, he's telling the story, then you got Push, and he comes in, and he's like, yeah, like, was it, I'm young enough to sell dope, but I'm old enough to, that I knows better, and whatever, and he knows it's shitty, but he's still doing it and all that, and then you got Pharrell, and his verse is like, there's an eye in the sky, I'm trying to let y'all know. Like, you're doing all this shit. I'm just trying to fucking look out for you guys, because this is dangerous or whatever. Like, he made it like he was able to be the narc in that verse, but have the best verse anyway. But, like, that was the most creative, like, clever song about, like, selling dope that I heard Push involved with. Everything on here that was like you said, a coke rap or whatever, it's, like, so... not even like going that deep into it. If you would tell a story or two, that'd be great.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like, it's not like, oh, you need to have a moral that says cocaine is bad, but it's just like, can you have something?
You don't need that, right?
Because if you have nothing, if you don't have production on your side, if lyricism is kind of on your side but not really, like, then what am I here for? I can hear a million people rap about coke, bro.
Yeah, it's not exactly a niche topic, no.
Yeah, I mean, who are you selling to?
Yeah, right? And do they fucking end up like the fucking album cover? Like, what's the moral?
When you see that album cover and you're like, oh, I know that this is based on this, right? You're thinking like, is there supposed to be something bigger going on? You know, because if not, it just feels like exploitation. You know, it just feels like, oh, we all know how Whitney went out. And it's just like, yeah, we do. That feels kind of like a dick thing to do because their whole album's about just coke. Like, you know, like, because now it just feels like this album is like, hey, I'm the person who sold coke to, you know, Whitney Houston. Like, that's what I don't know about y'all, but like, that's how this kind of feels like. It's like, this whole album is like, I'm the biggest coke dealer ever. Here's the album cover where a famous person that people love died. Like, what the fuck are you trying to say to me? You know? Because you're not trying to say, because here's the thing, you're not trying to say that dealing coke is bad. You are in no way trying to put out that message. You know, and if you are, it's really, really horribly delivered. You know what I'm saying? So it just feels fucking, it just feels like you don't know. It feels directionless. That's exactly what it feels like. It feels directionless.
We need to get to what would Meek do going into Infrared, because there's a little bit of like going into, there's a little bit of that Drake kind of referencing and what would Meek do, and some of the shit that Drake references, like the weird thing that Pusha T does where he says he's in the top 5, but like no one like, isn't the whole thing to be like, I'm the best? Yeah. Why would you ever go, I'm in the top 5? Like, well, where do you land in the top 5? And top 5 of what? Are you talking about, like, dealing or rapping or what? So he absolutely had that fucking line coming his way that you're not even on the top 5 talent-wise on your own label. Like,
oh no!
I watched your video. Fucking who won? Oh boy!
So this is the first Kanye verse after his transformation, and boy does it suck. If this is a taste of what we're gonna get on this next album, you can go ahead and keep that. You know what? You can sell that to your Make America Great Again friends. How about that? Sell that to them.
He's trying to make Scoop de Whoop a thing.
Oh my god. He said, niggas talking shit. Yay, how do you respond? And it's just like, it's not even like bold and proclaimed at first. It's just like, poop, Scoop. I was like, this man legitimately thinks this is funny. Like, this guy, like,
this is gonna catch on.
Like, it's funny in a cosmic way, but it's not like actually funny. Like, you know, it's not funny in a poopy scoop that Kanye. It's more funny in a way of, this man's been producing music for over 15 years, and he, like, obviously his best days are behind him. Cause no, and you know, people say, oh, it's a joke. It's fun. No. I know when Kanye makes jokes. Kanye has been funny before. That's the thing. I know that Kanye has had a sense of humor before. This is not funny. You know? Like, it's not like, oh, you just don't get Kanye's humor. No, I've laughed at his stuff. There has been plenty of times where he's made me laugh.
Oh, yeah.
There's been plenty of times where he has not made me laugh and said some corny shit. This is akin to that corny shit. But at least before, it was like, it's corny, but at least it makes sense. Niggas talking shit, how do you respond? By saying poop, scoop, whoop, whoop-de-whoop.
Like,
who's like any of you Kanye dick writers? If that was anybody, if fucking Lil Yachty came out with that, if fucking Lil Uzi Vert came out with that line, would you be kissing his ass? I do not think so. That shit is whack. Get that shit the fuck out of here.
Did he just not see the numbers, by the way, that Lift Yourself only sold like 14,000 copies on iTunes? Like, dude, nobody's here for that shit. Absolutely no one. The only people that bought it were like out of morbid curiosity or like as a goof. No one likes Lift Yourself, dude. No one's here for more of that.
And again, it's like, it's meta commentary. It's so, here's the thing. I don't think people understand that meta humor can also not be funny. Like,
yeah,
you know, just because he acknowledges, oh, am I too complex for complex? God, see, because it's not actually that complex. Yeah, but it's still not funny though. Like, you just said nonsense, and it's like, am I too? No, I mean, you're actually usually a smart person, so for you to do this is kind of dumb. Like, where the fuck is this coming from? Like, it doesn't make sense for him as an artist to be doing this, you know?
But dude, he wonders what Tupac would do.
Oh my god.
You're wondering what the New Kids on the Block would do. You know, I'm sorry, but I think all the members of New Kids are still alive.
And I don't think anybody's actively thinking about New Kids on the Block at the current moment.
It's like, and I get it. I get it. You're talking like, oh, they're irrelevant. They're soft. They were a boy band, but yeah, they were also really hugely successful and probably made more money than Tupac. like you're talking about it like if it was like you're wondering what Rebecca Black would do. Like, okay, I get that. She was a fucking flash in the pan. She had the one thing, and she was big for like a summer. New Kids were like merchandising kings, and like their money individually probably like multiply what Pac was making because they probably had a better management. Like, I get what you're saying in the scope of hip hop. You know, I'm talking about this. You know, this celebrated, decorated rap veteran that everyone loves, and you're over here doing something different. It's like, but that doesn't work when New Kids when the fucking New Kids did really well for themselves. That doesn't work.
And then also, like, so he says, everything Ye say caused a new debate. You see, he been out of touch. He cannot relate. His hallway too long. Bitch too bad. That's not what we're saying, Kanye. That's not what we're saying.
No one commented on your boring white hallway, Kanye.
No one was like, the reason why I take issue with his opinion is because his wife is too hot. No one said that.
The only person that took issue with his long hallway was Kim, because she said, I didn't want you showing anybody what the house looked like. Nobody was like, that hallway's too long.
And then,
I'd get tired walking to the bathroom, Kanye. You're living wrong.
And then he said, okay, so he says, his hallway too long, bitch too bad, got a surrogate, his kid get two dads. The fuck is he talking about?
Who's the other dad?
What the
Push?
fuck is he talking about? What?
I'm too busy. I neglect my child.
I don't understand what else he could be talking about. What? Like, alright, his
My
hallway...
kid's on the other side of the house. She's crying, but the hallway's too long, so I'm not gonna check on her. Fuck it.
Okay, so, cause this is in the quote, right? This is all within the quote, so this is what he thinks that the haters are saying. He thinks that the haters are saying, his hallway's too long, his bitch is too bad, he's got a surrogate, his kid has two dads. Like, that is not a complaint that anyone has said, and if you think that that's what people are saying, like, is this like some fucking... Me, Myself, and Irene shit where, like, you know that one scene of Me, Myself, and Irene where she's like, are you a narcissist who only, like, hears what you want to hear? And he goes, oh, thanks, I like to keep it short, mostly in the summer. Like, because the meta joke is he really is only hearing what he wants to hear, so he's only going to hear a compliment. So when he hears people, like, making like, Kanye West hears people making legitimate points, and, like, his brain just, like, translates it into, it's like, Kanye, you need to stop doing this because it's empowering racists and neo-Nazis and bigots, and then, like, Kanye's looking at you, and, like, you see the processing side is, like, interpreting into Kanye's head, and he's the same person looking at them, like, you need to stop doing this, you are empowering racists and bigots, and it's just, like, translation, I'm just hating on you because you stack paper to the ceiling. Like, you know, like, that's legitimately what he's hearing. Like, people are saying, please don't do this because you're empowering bigots, and he's like, oh, you're trying to say that I got too much money, are you? Like, it's just not fucking connecting. So, and he says, if you ain't driving black, do they stop you? Will MAGA hats let me slide like a drive-thru? Shut up. Stop trying to jump back into I'm doing black commentary. Shut up. It's too late for that now. Shut the fuck up.
It's too late after the fucking slavery is a choice bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as
There's
you
no
say
coming
that,
back from that.
Don't try to, do you deal with oppression? Shut up. You don't, because you're fucking a millionaire now. Shut the fuck up. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. His racism that he had to deal with was, a fashion designer didn't want to talk to me because I was 45 minutes late to a meeting. Oh, I'm so sorry. Shut up. I'm tired of this shit. I'm sorry. Like, I love the music that this man has put out, but if he does not shut the fuck up with this bullshit. Anyway, getting back to Meek.
I wouldn't have listened to Infrared if it wasn't for the Drake diss. I wouldn't have recommended we talk about the EP if it wasn't for the Drake diss. When Drake says, I fucking sold 20,000 for you, he absolutely did. Like, nobody was paying this fucker attention, even with Kanye as producing, even Kanye on a song. That shit, no one cares. It's too soon for that. You know, people are still wondering what the fuck is up with Kanye, so for him to just come back like, oh, nothing's wrong, I'm just gonna play this whole MAGA thing off like it was just a little publicity thing, and when we know that's not the case.
Yeah.
Because you fucking hung out with Trump, he's bringing you up in rallies, you fucking took photos with people doing the white nationalist OK symbol, which for 2 seconds, let me have 2 seconds if you please. Can I just address the folks in the comments section who are saying that the OK symbol isn't a white nationalist symbol? Okay, look, this is all part of the plan, by the way. Create something seemingly stupid for the left to get mad at, and then act like they're crazy for getting mad at it. When it starts out with 4chan people doing an OK symbol and saying, this is going to be the new symbol of the alt-right, and then the only people you see doing that symbol are literal neo-Nazis, it's a white nationalist symbol. That's how that works. You can't just be like, oh, that was just a joke. Not if those fuckers took it seriously, it isn't. So I'm sorry. When you see Kanye taking a photo with those two people and the one guy's doing the OK symbol, who do you know who, when doing a photo, throws up an OK symbol?
Yeah, like...
Nobody does that.
Everything's correct. Like, what? Why would you...
It's not a thing normal people do. So I'm sorry. Like, this isn't some crazy leftist reading into things. No, it's a leftist, quote unquote, who's actually paying attention to this shit and isn't just taking it at face value. This whole thing, milk, IQ tests, all this shit that make it seem like, man, they think they're so obsessed with us, that they're so crazy that they actually think milk is a white nationalist symbol. Well, it is when you fucking make it one. Going around saying people have low IQs, you know, that's whatever, and it's ableist in the first place, but when the only people you hear saying people have, certain people have high IQs, it becomes a racist thing to say. That's how that works.
Look, all you need to say on this topic is look up the phrase dog whistle. And let's move on. Like, come on, guys. Is it that hard? But so okay. I want to specifically quote something here about this diss track. There was an interview with NPR, and he said this was in response to a Drake record that came out a little while ago called Two Birds, One Stone, where he questioned my authenticity to the streets. And you know, people have been waiting, you know, for me to reply back to that, and so on and so forth. And you know, when you think about it, that's not a conversation I really feel like I want to have. You're a rapper who's rapping about how real you are all the fucking time. That's always the conversation you want to have. What are you talking about? You can't wait to validate that you were a real drug dealer. Like, what are you talking about? You know? When has he ever been in a song like, well, I mean, you know, guys, I mean, let's not assume that I'm a drug dealer. No! You're always actively trying to prove that you're a drug dealer in every last one of your songs. So what are you talking about?
That's been the narrative since the beginning. What would you give Daytona?
Maybe like a 2.5.
I give it a 2.
Yeah. Now let's move the fuck on.
Oh, let's move. All right, we're gonna move all the way over to Rap Critics' Patreon requested album review. Boy, oh boy.
Fucking trash bins when I'm moving it.
I feel like this is a long time coming because we have been maybe not even knowingly dodging this group for a while. We barely ever talk about them. We're ducking and dodging. We never talk about them. So it's about time that the Going Off podcast address, acknowledge, and review Death Grips, the money store.
Yeah, Patrick Hams, Patreon requested.
Patrick Steamed Hams.
Oh boy. So, I don't know. Look,
I was hoping for it to start with a look, so when you started with the other thing and then you went into the look, I was like, oh, he almost got me.
Is that a phrase? Is that my phrase? Look.
Yeah, it's like, no, fuck that look. Like, oh, we only have one way. He's going the other. No, I feel you, dude, because the first time I ever listened to Death Grips, it was Guillotines.
Guillotine! With
Yeah.
shitty looking fucking music, but you can't tell me that wasn't on purpose. You can't, like, I straight up and down thought they just got a homeless guy and, like, made him sit in a car and, like, paid him $50 to just, like, ramble on a train. Like, I thought that's what they fucking did, because I was just like, what the fuck is it?
Thought it was the gimmick, yeah.
Look, I don't mean no disrespect, but, like, you can't tell me you don't know this motherfucker sounds like a homeless guy rambling. Like, he sounds like a homeless guy rambling and someone's, like, banging pots and pans and shit in the background. Like, that's what this shit fucking... lemon cookies. That's what this fucking reminds me of. Lemon cookies. Because I'm sure there are people out there that fucking love them some lemon cookies. But holy shit, I do not like fucking lemon cookies. And it is a pain. I remember as a kid, like, trying, a lemon... Because, I'm used to, like, cookies that, like, taste good. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole point is that they're enjoyable and sweet. But then you bite into a lemon cookie and you're like, this is what cookies are supposed to taste like. But I'll power through it because I think it's, like, healthier or something. Fuck it, I can't do this. This is exactly what this album is like. Like, yeah, this is supposed to be, like, experimental. I'm supposed to like it because it's challenging the norms. And I can't fucking do it, man. I can't fucking do it. I'm sorry. This is fucking horrible. This is shitty produced music, and I know. It's shitty on purpose. Noise rock. I got it. But you cannot tell me this motherfucker don't sound like a Black Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy. You cannot tell me he does not... Guillotines, Double D. You cannot tell me he does not sound like I got the fever, Double D. You cannot tell me this man does not sound like a cartoon character, a homeless cartoon character. How are you enjoying this?
I didn't hear a single butter toast on this whole... No,
But would it throw you off? If he started talking about buttered toast, would it throw you off? Would you even be like, this is weird, he's talking about something that's a little off the wall? No! All of this just sounds like, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like, remember that Insane Clown Posse song where they got, like, Old Dirty Bastard,
oh yeah, bitches.
Yeah, he sent in a recording, but, like, he didn't send it, like, over a proper beat or anything like that, so it just they just had to work with it and like put whatever lines they could. That's exactly what this sounds like, but some producer got creative with the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Compared to Guillotines, this album wasn't that bad. Okay, it was a step up from that, at least.
Repeating face when he says it goes it. That shit had me dying. He looks like he's like fucking caught in a loop. Someone help.
He starts going on about jawbreakers. Look, I didn't hate this as much as I thought I was going to. But with that said, I'm gonna piss off people by saying this, but lyrics mean nothing to me here. Like, when it comes to Death Grips, and I'm listening to this...
Well, you can't fucking hear them!
I'm not even paying attention to that shit. No, you could be saying whatever. You could honestly be, you could be quoting Ed, Edd n Eddy from beginning to end. That's fine. I'm not even really paying attention. I'm here for the music because that's what I know Death Grips for. That's the reputation that I hear most. I hear their fucking shows are insane. They got a drummer who's going out of his fucking mind. And when I listen to the Money Story, that's what I'm picturing. Like, man, this album is probably so much better live.
Possibly.
And it's probably a lot more of an experience. But listening to it on Spotify, it doesn't capture it.
Yeah. Like, the one time I think I was kind of interested, it was like one or two tracks where they sort of play with the time signature. I thought that was kind of cool. I think it was either track 2 or track 3. Let me see. Oh, yeah, Lost Boys. Yeah, I kind of dug that one. And like, it's supposed to be loud and unfocused and busy all the time. Like, I get it, but, like, most of it just doesn't strike me in a way. Like, you know what it is? My mind doesn't want to focus on it. Like, I don't want to listen to it. Like, I actively don't want to listen to it. And the thing is, I could see someone going like, yo, man, like, you know, me listening to this really experimental cat in like 5 or 10 years, you know, and then be like, what was your inspiration? Like, oh man, I grew up listening to the Money Store. That shit was crazy. And you listen, you know how it is, you know, when you're like, man, this person's really, you know, an inspired artist. I want to hear what inspired them. And you're like, holy shit, how the fuck did this inspire them? I could see this being that, you know?
Yeah, I could see that, yeah.
But by itself... Oh my God, Blackjack, where he's like, how I ride, well I ride, never really had to try, never mind that. What the fuck was that? That's literally the lyric. I didn't stutter. That's how it goes. He goes, never mind that. So what the fuck? I was like, is he freestyling this? Is he, because how do you practice this? How do you practice this type of like, scattershot, just random shit, you know?
It's funny that you say that exactly, because when I was looking at Lost Boys, on the Genius page, there is video of them practicing that song.
Oh, how?
The songs I like the most on the EP are the ones that are a bit more coherent, the ones I could actually kind of understand what's going on. I've seen footage. Probably one of the catchier too, because it has like a pretty cool beat going on there. It only happens a couple times though. On the I'm looking at the Genius thing. Probably the most accessible song on the album. Talking about I've seen footage. Yeah, I could see that.
Definitely.
System Blower. If it actually did go harder, I could see it, but it's talking about, like, we're gonna blow your system, and it's like, it didn't really, though. Like, it could have went harder, but it didn't.
Yeah, man, look, when I started off, actually, with I've Seen Footage, I actually did not like it at first. It's just like, because, like, this is track 6 by this point, so... The guitar that intentionally sounds bad and like out of key. I'm just like, I'm tired. I'm fucking tired of you. Like, I know you're doing bad music on purpose, but I'm just fucking tired. Like, you know, like I know it's supposed to sound horrible. Mission accomplished. I don't want to listen to this ever again. Fantastic. Like, you know, like.
See, I know 100% there are going to be people in the comment section saying that it's not supposed to sound bad.
Yeah, I know, and there's lots of music that's not supposed to sound great, but like. They're usually fucking something to grab onto for your brain, but this actively sounds like it does not want you to listen to it.
That, like, punk weight?
Let me see. I think that was when I just fucking gave up. Yeah, I gave up.
That is track 10.
I couldn't fucking do it. I was just like, both times I listened to this album, I was like, I gotta tap out, because I'm done. I don't want to listen to this. Like, I don't want to fucking listen to this shit. You know?
It's too much.
You know, just like, the really fast, like, I'm just like, by that point, the way it just hit me, it was just like a fucking, you know, I'm trying to find a way to describe this shit, where you're just like, you know what it is? It's like a whole bunch of dudes just beat the shit out of you for like 40 minutes. And then, like, this one scrawny dude just comes up and starts kicking your leg. And you're just like, I'm fucking done! Alright, just kill me already! Just fucking kill me!
See, I'm looking at this thing right here. It says, Punk Weight is a song on the Money Store. The song's central focus is violence, and particularly being beaten. Yeah.
Every song is about fucking violence and beating this shit out of... There is no song that's different. Name one song in here that doesn't bring up violence in some way. They're all the fucking same! There's maybe like 1 or 2 songs where, I think the first song where he talks about like trying to outrun the cops or something like that. But like, and you know, it was kind of like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing there, you know. But it's like the sort of, when people try, I feel like people are thinking too hard and giving too much credit. Like, oh, it's dissociative disorder that he's trying to, like, really? Really? Is that what he's going for? Is he that smart? Does this music sound that smart to you? Is this 3-5? Is this 3 deep 5 me? Is that what this is? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just like, look, I think the Cage, I like heard a melody. I think I heard like, but then like it sounded like someone started farting over it, so I'm like, all right, never fucking mind. And then the call and response was hilarious. It's like, it's way too fast.
Wait, where?
I look for the chorus. He's like, I say kill it like you say hate it. Kill it like you heard it. Kill it like you heard it. And I was like, when I say, you can't take it. I can take it. I can take it. I was like, is this a joke? Is this a joke? I was like, how is it anyone supposed to call in response to this? It's like, because if you listen to the recording, it sounds like the vocals, like he has to record over his vocals to say the line. And so it's just like, if you can barely keep up with it, how the fuck is an audience supposed to? I can't take it. I can't take it. Oh my god. It's like, slow it down, slow the fucking song down, or use less words or some shit. But that's an endemic of how this whole album, that's like pretty much a microcosm of how this whole album feels. It's just like, I know there's an idea there, I know what you're trying to do, but this is not executed right. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I'm sorry, I'm not fucking with this. This gets the fat goose egg, bro.
See, here's the thing. I ended up enjoying this more than the fucking Pusha T. Because at least the fucking production here was interesting. At least the album, while disjointed and hard to figure out and hard to follow, at least I was interested. I was so fucking bored on that Pusha T album. I mean, I still would probably only give this a 2.5. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't great. But it still was able to at least hold my attention. I was interested to see what the next one is going to be. No two tracks sound the same. You know, like, they fucking... You could tell there's, like... This was the polar opposite of fucking minimalism on the Pusha T.
This was like... Credit. This does sound like someone was working on it.
Pusha T wasn't nearly enough. This was too much.
Yeah, you know I'll put it like that. Yeah, that's perfect.
It's on the opposite side of the spectrum. Not necessarily better, but it held my interest and therefore wasn't as bad of an experience for me. With that said,
I cannot see myself coming back to any of these tracks, and that's partially how I rate things, right? It's just like, would I listen to this again? And I'm just like, I don't want to listen to this, and I don't need anyone else to listen to it. Like, you know?
Yeah, I know it definitely has an audience. I know people that like Death Grips, but yeah, it's not for me. I wouldn't listen to even the songs I liked. Like, I think there was, God, I forget which one it was. Maybe Bitch Please? I don't remember which one it was. Either that one or Hacker, or I've seen footage. Some of the ones that are, like, more like, all right, I get this. I can see what they're doing. Even those, like, the catchier tunes, I wouldn't go back to. I'm only listening to it because it's the review. You know? Like, Death Grips, I don't know. I know they have another album coming out soon. I don't know if it's going to be any different than this. But this is the only album of theirs I've listened to in full, so this is the only reference point I really have.
The Guillotine song. You know,
right,
so it's not like, oh, this is a break from their style. No, this is what they do.
Well, no, see, Guillotine was just that one stupid noise and him shouting. This sounded better produced than that, at least.
Good point.
So you can tell they were moving in somewhat of the right direction, or at least what I would consider to be the right direction.
Yeah, at least it's not just...
like someone banging a fucking hammer on some random ass desk and someone shouting over it. Which, again, I'm sure that works for someone.
Yeah,
out there, but
like, you know,
just
what?
Not me.
There is lots of what is it, in the 50s, the you know, the rise of sort of minimalism, you know, 40s and 50s. Hey, some of that stuff is very experimental and interesting, and for historical purposes, you can go back and listen to it and check it out. That's not shit people actually listen to, you know? No. Like, it's the stuff, it's the sort of, like, introductory stuff where it's like, oh, this is what we can do with music. This is what we can do with sampling. Isn't that cool? But no one wants to listen to, it's gonna rain, it's gonna rain, it's gonna rain. No one's listening to that in their free time, you know? At least for fucking me. And maybe there are people out there that want to listen to Stephen Reich all goddamn day. It's gonna rain, it's gonna rain. Maybe that's you. Maybe that's you, but it's not me. I'm sorry. I don't dig it. Yeah. I can appreciate it for what it's doing and how it's challenging what's going on. I get that. But I still don't want to listen to it. I'm sorry. You know?
With that said, if there is an album that you would like to hear our opinions on, it is as simple as a one-time pledge to either of our Patreon pages. That is patreon.com/rapcritic and patreon.com/muse, respectively. Check out the pages for details. But that about wraps it up for this week's show. So thank you very much for checking us out. Thank you very much to Adrian for checking us out. Check him out on YouTube. Check him out on Twitter. Check him out everywhere. Check out his book. He's got it on his website. All that. I've got the links to his stuff on the screen here and all of that. So you'll be able to follow him, see where you can find more of his stuff, watch more of his stuff. Great content. And thank you very much for listening. If this is your first time checking us out, all of our old episodes are on SoundCloud and iTunes. Just search Goin Off Podcast for all of our old episodes. You can finally, you can play some catch up, perhaps. But if you've been sticking around and this isn't your first time, obviously, thank you very much for sticking around, following us as we grow and the show gets better and better by the week. Follow us on Twitter so you can see what we're talking about throughout the week. And until next time, further Going Off Podcast, I'm Muse.
And I'm Rap Critic. And ickles, yeah, Double Day!